Hi guys, we are from Make It, an IT startup oriented towards the nation young generation empowerment. And today I would like to tell you an important part of these control structures called nested if. Nested if actually means an if inside another if is nothing but nested if. Your printf is there, right? If I place a printf inside another printf, that is called as nested printf. In the same fashion, yeah, I'm going to discuss about today about nested if. And yeah, coming to some basics of the C programming language. Yeah, it was developed by an eminent personality called Dennis Ritchie in the year 1972 at AT&T Bell Laboratories. Yeah, you can have a look at the photograph of him, which is available on the screen. And let me highlight that. Okay, he is the person. He is Dennis Ritchie, the personality, the famous personality who is the founder or developer of C programming language. And here AT&T is a laboratory that stands for American Telephony and Telegraphy, yeah, from which a transistor was a product and Unix operating system has been launched, and C++ language is also from the same laboratory, and it is the plan for it. Yeah, here you are seeing some snap, right? Yeah, it is the photograph connected with AT&T Bell Laboratories. It's so scenic, right, for watching. And actually C was developed not for commercial purpose initially. It was developed for creating or rewriting an operating system called Unix. Earlier, this Unix was written using assembly language, and this complete Unix operating system was rewritten using the C programming language. And Unix on those days became very popular, and all the market had thought of what is the programming language used for developing such a beautiful operating system, which is very secured, reliable, very handy to use. Of course, initially it's not that much handy because everything is CUI based, and thereafter it has become a GUI based also. And there is an expansion to this Unix also, that is Uniflexed Information Computing System. Actually, it is UNICS. Yeah, here they have made these letters bold, right? Yeah, you can observe that UNICS, and later that was renamed as Unix, UNICX. Sorry, UNIX. And Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie combinedly developed this Unix operating system, and C is the main reason for it. Okay, that's why C also had become very popular. And to be frankly speaking, if I have to divide these programming languages, whatever they are existing, into two eras, then I have to speak something like before C, after C. That is the impact of C programming language, because C had created that much impact on the market, and the complete IT industry had looked into this software developments and application programs, system programs. Yeah, anything can be done using C because C is a general purpose programming language. And C is one such programming language that has given an idea for developing C++, and this C and C++ are combined, or these two were inspiration for developing such a trending programming language in the past 2 decades called Java. And coming to the other one, a student or a research scholar named Linus Torvalds was inspired from this Unix operating system, and he developed his own flavor called Linux. Yeah, it is named after Unix and his own name, Linus Torvalds, and it is something pronouncing like Linux, which is very popular, and all the market has inspired from this student. If a student alone can do or create an operating system like this, why don't we create our own flavors? From where plenty of flavors were released, like Solaris from Sun Microsystems, Macintosh from Apple, AIX from IBM, and from Red Hat there are two products, like one is the Fedora and the other one is the Red Hat, and SUSE Linux, Knoppix, Ubuntu. There are plenty of things. And yeah, let me get into the technicalities about this nested if. It is a if inside another if. Okay, and even we can have the same scenario with else part also, like I'm going to deal this syntactically and semantically, yeah, along with a flowchart and an example related to that. Yeah, let me get into them. Okay, this is the syntax of it. Yeah, if the condition 1 is true, the control enters inside this, statements will be run, and after that it is going to check condition 2. If this is also true, then statements 2 will also be run. That is one flow. Yeah, what is that? If condition 1 is true, then it is going to execute statements 1, and then condition 2 will be checked, and if this is also true, then statements 1 2 will be executed. For example, if condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false, then as condition 1 is true, the control enters into the block, and as this condition 2 is false, the control comes to else part. Now the executed blocks will be statements 1 and statements 1 3. This is the second possibility. Yeah, what is this possibility? Whenever condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false. And coming to the other possibility, if condition 1 itself is false, then the control directly goes to this else part, where it is going to run this statements 2 block, along with I can have an if else related to this, like if condition 3 is true, then this block will be run, and if condition 3 is false, then this block will be run. Okay, that is how the functionality. Yeah, what I am trying to say here is, yeah, I can write an if else inside if, or I can write an if else inside else, and yeah, that is how I can that is how they can be nested. They can be nested inside other, one inside other. Yeah, it's all based on the requirement. We can do it, we can do all such things. And coming to the same syntax in a pictorial way of representation or explanation, yeah, first of all it is coming to condition 1, and if it is true, then the control will come to condition 2. If it is also true, then activity 1 will be run. It's something like statements 1 2, that is activity 1. And if condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false, then this will be run. It is something like statements 1 3. And if I have a look at this one, if condition 1 itself is false, then the control will take this path and check for condition 3. If it is true, this will run, or if it is false, then the control will come to this part. That is how it is going to work. Hope I have explained how the flowchart is working as far as the syntax that I have explained just now. And yeah, coming to the technicalities or examples connected with it, yeah, here I am going to explain finding the maximum of 3 numbers using nested if, that is 1, and I am going to check whether a given positive number is even or odd. That is one more thing I am going to explain. Two things here, as I have mentioned that I have to check whether a positive number is even or odd. First I have to make sure that the given number is positive, and if it is positive, then I have to check whether that number is even or odd. Here if you observe this logically, there are two conditions involved, and here also certainly I have to go for a nested if way of treating this problem. Yeah, anyhow I will be getting into that. I will be getting into the technicalities, and I will execute the I will write the program, and I will test it, and I will show you how they are going to work. Yeah, everything. And there is a problem that is connected with this nested if called dangling else. Here dangling means it's something like confusing or ambiguous or messy or something like that. What that one is, if I write a nested if and a single else, okay, if I write something like this, then this else belongs to which if is the question. whether it belongs to inner if or outer if. Yeah, generally the nested if will be taking, or the inner if will be taking higher priority. So this one belongs to inner if. Yeah, that is how it will be taken. And in order to avoid the ambiguity in case of this dangling else problem, the solution is use braces. For example, if I am writing something like this, then the else part is belonging to inner if. And if I place, rather than having this brace here, if I have that brace here, then clearly this else part belongs to outer. Yeah, that is the concept of dangling else problem. Yeah, sometimes this also might be asked in interviews. Yeah, just be clear about this point, and let me get into the practical way of explaining these things. Okay, for that, as usual, I will be taking this developer C++ software, yeah, which you can download absolutely for free from the internet. Directly you can type the same like developer C++. Okay, you will be getting a link, and you can download it. Fine, let me get into the program. Okay. Yeah, this is the application where I have to open. Yeah, let it be open, and before that let me explain you how this nested if is going to work manually. uh, okay, how this nested if is going to work manually by taking MS Paint, or you can have your own mechanism of understanding it. Yeah, I'm taking this MS Paint, which is a tool linked with or that will come as a part of the Windows operating system itself. Yeah, here I got three things, right? One is A, and other one is B, and other one is C. I have to find the maximum of three given variables using nested if. That is my target, and I am going to increase the size of it. And let me increase the size. Okay, ABC, and let me change the color of it. Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah, this one is good, and let me make them bold. Okay, fine. Now my target is to find the maximum of A, B and C. How it could be done? Watch guys, I'll be taking the paint for explaining this, and the color is okay, let me take black. Black is quite visible, right? And is it possible to increase the brush size? Yes, of course I can do it. Yeah, first condition is I have to check whether A is greater than B. If it is true, then I am going to check whether A is greater than C also. Whether A is greater than C also. If both these conditions are true, then one thing is for sure, that A is greater than both B and C. Then A is the maximum value. This is possibility number 1. And coming to the next possibility, if A is greater than B and A is not greater than C, as A is greater than B, A is maximum, but A is not greater than C, then C is maximum. It's very simple, right? The second possibility. And coming to the next possibility, if A is not greater than B, okay, this is anyhow not greater than B, then I got two things, B and C. Then I have to compare B and C. If B is greater than C, then B is maximum, otherwise C. In fact, there are 4 possibilities we need to check, and let me write them, or let me type here. What are they? Yeah, the first one is the first possibility. Okay, yeah, let me take a little bit bigger, and let me expand this. Okay, if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, if both are greater, then A is max. Possibility number 1. Second possibility, if A is greater than B and A is not greater than, now how I need to write? Yeah, I'm writing it like this: A is not greater than C. Okay, then C is max. Let me expand this to a little bit further. Then C is max. Second possibility. Third possibility, if A is not greater than B, then compare B and C. If B is greater, max is B, C otherwise. Fine, I have explained this. Yeah, it's something like, first I am checking whether A is greater than, yeah, let me do it for one more time. That's very simple. Let me take a different color of explaining it, and let me go to this paintbrush and okay, fine. First what I am doing, I am checking whether A is greater than B, and then I am also checking whether A is greater than C. If both these conditions are true, then A is maximum. I got this clarity. And the second possibility is A is greater than B but not greater than C. Now C is the maximum value. And the third possibility is A is not greater than B. Then I have to compare B and C. If B is greater, then B is max, otherwise C. Yeah, this is what I have to understand, and the same I am going to implement as a program. Okay, and file, new source file, and I'm saving this one as, okay, it's not getting saved. File, save as, yeah, I'm writing something like max.c. Yeah, here I got, okay, save, hash include stdio. Yeah, C is a case sensitive programming language. Case sensitive in the sense it will make an absolute or clear distinguishing between uppercase letters and lowercase letters. And yeah, before continuing further, yeah, how the computer can identify whether the character that I have been pressed is capital A or small a. Or let me tell you, if I press a capital A or small a on the keyboard, how the computer is going to identify that? Okay, that is the question. Yeah, let me give you a short answer for that. Okay, let me use the same space. Generally, on a computer, there are two codes. One is ASCII code and other one is scan code. What is ASCII code? For every printable key, what are printable keys? Your alphabets, digits, special symbols, all are printable keys. And space is also a printable key, because a space will be printed. Of course, it is not visible to us. Even though it is not visible, it is a printable key. And coming to non-printable keys, they are something like caps lock, nums lock, scroll lock, control, alt, shift, escape, F1 to F12, all such. They are all scan codes. For non-printable keys, scan codes will be generated. And for printable keys, ASCII code will be generated, and ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Yeah, what is this ASCII all about? If I press small a, then internally a 97 will be generated, indicating that is small a. And if I press a capital A, 65 will be generated. And if I have a look at small b, 98 will be generated. And if I have a look at capital B, it is 66, and so on. If I press small z, then it is 97 plus 25, 122, and capital Z, it is 90. Yeah, this is the reason. ASCII is a code that is accepted widely for presenting the characters in English, and this is generally used in C programming language. And if I come to an application of an ATM, it is going to display the options in 3 languages, not only English. It is going to display the option in regional language, national language, and universal language. Yeah, if you take Andhra, regional language is Telugu, national language is Hindi, and universal language is English. That is how it will be customized, right? And is ASCII suitable for representing the characters apart from English? No, ASCII is not capable of that. For that, we have to use another code called Unicode. In fact, Unicode is an extended version or a superset of ASCII. Unicode is of 16 bits length, whereas ASCII is of only 8 bits length. Okay, that's how they are different, and it's a different story altogether, but linked with the computers and C programming language. These ASCII codes are quite useful in almost all the parts of the programming language. And one more thing is the basic question where I have started is how the computer will recognize the uppercase letters and lowercase letters. And C is a case sensitive programming language. What is that case sensitivity? It is treating uppercase letters and lowercase letters differently. Capital A is not same as small a. Or if I write apple in lowercase letters, that is not same as if I write the same apple in uppercase letters. They are absolutely different. That's what all I am trying to say here. Okay, let me get back to the code where I have been suspended. Okay, int main. Okay, what are the variables I do require here? I require 3 variables, a comma b comma c, where the input variables, and a max variable, which is the output variable. And printf, enter 3 integers. Yeah, I'm asking something like that. And okay, scanf, percentage d, percentage d, percentage d, and I will be going for percentage a comma percentage, sorry, address of a comma address of b comma address of c. Okay, what is the meaning of it? Printf, enter 3 integers, where I am asking to enter 3 integers from the keyboard. And what is this? Scan means read. Scan means read. And percentage d means decimal values. Read 3 decimal values and place them in a, b, and c respectively. A, B, and C respectively. Okay, and after that I'll be going for the paint. Yeah, this diagram I am going to implement technically, yeah, or practically with a code. I am going to implement this logic. Like, watch guys, if A greater than B and if A greater than C, then I can write max is equal to A. This is one statement. And what is the next possibility? If A greater than B and A not greater than C, then I have to talk about else part, right? And here I am writing max is equal to C. And I am writing one more thing called else. And inside else, I am writing something like else if B greater than C, then max is equal to B, otherwise max is equal to C. Yeah, and finally coming back to my program, here I'm printing something like printf max. Okay, max value is equal to percentage d backslash n comma. I am printing this maximum value, that is a max variable, and have a semicolon at the end of the code. And yeah, I need to have a return 0, right? Return 0. Fine. Yeah, let me run it first of all, and then I will explain how it is going to work. Okay, let me run it. Execute, compile and run. Yeah, whenever I am running it for the first time, it might take some time and it is asking me to enter 3 integers. Let me say 1 2 3. Yeah, max value is 3, and if I run it for one more time, and if the values are 1 3 2, yeah, max value is 3. I have given now b as the maximum value, and then let me run it for one more time, and this time the values are 3 to 1. Now a is max value is 3. Yeah, it is handling all the cases. Okay, and a very important topic is why I haven't used any curly braces, because if I have a look at from this perspective, if I have a look at the code from this perspective, then it is a single if else statement, which means a single statement, so braces are not required. In the same fashion, if I have a look at from this perspective, here also I don't have anything apart from this if else, right? It is also a single statement. So finally, if I have a look at from this perspective, this if is going to have a single statement, and this else part is going to have a single statement. Altogether no braces are required. Directly I can print the maximum value. Yeah, that is about this program, and the logic is quite simple. If both these are true, yeah, what is the meaning of it? A is greater than both b and c, then max is equal to a. And if this one is true and this one is false, what is the meaning of it? A is greater than b but not greater than c, then max is equal to c. And if this itself is false, then what is the meaning of it? A is not greater than b. One thing is for sure, that a will not be max anymore. Then I have to compare b and c. Then the control will come to this part. If b is greater than c, then b is max, otherwise c. And finally I am printing the value of max. That's all about today's discussion, yeah, which explained a concept called a nested if else, okay, or nested if. And if else can be placed inside another if, or in else part. Yeah, likewise I can have that flexibility. It's all depend on the requirement and the need of writing this sort of code. And that's all for this session, guys, and have a good day. Thank you.